So I'm going to talk about Brady's lower body motion analysis. He did his on kicking a soccer ball with a inward kick. So what I thought was interesting to start out with, I didn't think about the focusing on the non-planting leg. I've been playing soccer my entire life, so I kind of understand the basics and biomechanics of how it works. However, I didn't really think about maybe the leg that wasn't really being used as much and what injuries can happen. But I'm going to just kind of start out with going through some injuries, going through some of the different phases that he said, and then, maybe some of the kinetic chain and stuff that I just kind of found important overall. So his first one was foot planting. With the foot planting phase, foot's going onto the ground. There could be possible eversion going on during that, which could cause a deltoid ligament sprain. During this phase, you are putting pressure onto the ground. With that pressure and a potential twist, there could be an MCL injury. There could be a meniscal injury as well. And then another big one, since there will be some, since there is planting on the ground, the muscle strains, there could be a muscle strain of the hamstring group with the hip specifically. The next phase he talked about was the swing back phase. This included some plantar flexion of the ankle, big muscle that was involved is the gastrocnemius. And a good thing was there's no injuries that can occur with this that he thought of. I couldn't think of any either. During the swing back phase, the knee, there's a couple things that could be put on a stretch, and that'd be the quad and patella tendon, especially if they are in hyperflexion, he said. They could be, they would stretch more, and that could cause an injury during that. Next, the swing phase. That's when he's swinging, he's doing an inward motion of the foot. This could cause a deltoid ligament injury. Could be an injured ankle. The knee will also compensate. If there's a knee injury, the opposite hip will compensate because it will not want to put pressure on that knee. It will want to put pressure on the other hip. It's doing the other hip because it's one of the strongest joints in the body. Yeah, but that also happens with the ankle as well. The other hip will compensate. One thing I didn't bother thinking of is what happens during ball contact and if there are actually any injuries that can happen. So depending on how much you're putting your hamstrings on a stretch, and a hamstring strain could happen. PCL could happen. And then lastly, an MCL could happen due to the valgus force being put on the ankle or knee. Valgus force will be put onto the knee. And what I want to do is kind of relate this back and see how I can use this in everyday athletic training. So for everyday athletic training, I would get a good idea of what injuries a soccer player could have. From his PowerPoint and presentation, it seems like a hamstring is a big one. Hamstring throughout, if it's being used, if it's potentially of being injured. I think that'd be a good thing to keep in mind while I am maybe evaluating a patient, or when I know a soccer player is walking in during this time. And then I didn't really think about a quad or patella tendon. I think that could be a small chance that could be happening, but it's also good to keep that in mind as well. I kind of suspect that just a muscle strain would be of some sort, or a lateral ankle injury or deltoid ligament would be the main purpose or main injury that could occur during this time. And I think that'd be a good idea for me to keep that, stored in the back of my mind.